Welcome back. So, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Blade Nzimande, has delivered the opening address of the last day of the 2023 Group on Earth Observations Week and Ministerial Summit underway in Cape Town. SABC News reporter Elrees Mashaba covering the story. We cross live to her now where she is with the Minister standing by.
Thank you, Naledi. As you said, I've got the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation with me, Minister Blade Nzimande. Welcome, Minister. Minister,
good day, Elrees.
You at the Ministerial Summit said earlier that you are expecting the GEO Post 2025 declaration to be endorsed at the summit.
Well, perhaps I should start by explaining what Group on Earth Observations is, for the purposes of many of our viewers and listeners. This is a group of about 115 countries in the world. It's the first time it's being held on African soil in South Africa. And really the overall intention is, how do we look after our own Earth? We have one planet. If we mess it up, if I can put it that way, we have no other planet to actually go to. This then brings together your scientists, researchers, to share information, to share knowledge on, firstly, the challenge that the Earth is having. The theme which says the Earth talks, it's full of things to say. We better listen to the Earth, because by living on it also we are acting in a manner that we are damaging it. The reason why we have climate change is because of the damage that we have actually caused to the Earth, so that whatever we do, we must actually protect it, whether it's agriculture, whether it's mining, whether it's dealing with issues of land, we must actually protect. So this summit then meets 4 years. It's a ministerial summit which brings together all the ministers who deal with matters relating to the Earth. Ministers of Science, Ministers of Environment, they actually come together. So we have, each when we meet, we have got a declaration. So part of the declaration then is informed by what are some of the most challenging things, what do we actually need to do. One of the most challenging things is the rising temperature, which is causing a lot of climate change. The reason why we've got floods and we've got lots of problems. It's also sharing new ways. What is science saying about modern ways of agriculture that are user-friendly to the Earth that we have, so that we are not a selfish generation which lived and destroyed the Earth and doesn't care about future generations that have got to occupy the same thing. So that's what this post-2025 plan of action is also partly talking about, existing challenges, but also we are sharing good news, some progress. How do we, for instance, deal with soil erosion? Because just one thing that may seem small, but it's actually causing a lot of damage. How do we improve our agricultural methods? How do we improve the way we use Earth and its resources in a manner that we ensure that those resources are renewable and they are also able to look after our Mother Earth? That's the only mother that we have. We have no other planet to go to if we cause problems to this one.
Minister, you said that it's future looking. This is the first time that we have youth participation in the GEO Summit. How important is it? I know that the youth is also going to make a declaration at the summit. How important is it to involve the youth in the Group on Earth Observations?
Well, it's very important. I'm glad also to say that South Africa's idea that since we are going to be hosting, we also want to bring young people. There is nothing we can do without involving young people, because it's their future in the main that we are talking about. We would like young people to be scientists, to be earth scientists. They can also be in all other fields of science, but we also, some of them, to be earth scientists who understand how the earth lives, breathes and acts, and how to actually protect that. So we are bringing in young people so as to excite them about the whole idea of Earth and its system and how it is to be protected, how do we deal with the challenges. So in South Africa, we are very passionate. We're a young country, and as a continent, by the way, we're a very young continent. It's a continent of youth. Let's turn that to our advantage, because young people usually are agile, they think fast, and I dare say they are very innovative. And we need all sorts of innovation in order to use Earth in a sustainable manner.
What are your other expectations of the GEO 2023 Cape Town Declaration, Minister?
Well, firstly is to adopt the declaration so that there is consensus globally on what we actually need to do. Secondly, as I say, is to expose young people, but there are also young scientists that we are also interesting them. We are looking forward to their own resolutions because they will have their own discussion. We didn't say we're going to impose. Discuss as young people to say how do we think we actually need to look after the Earth? And then, of course, share with senior and experienced scientists, share ideas in a manner that actually is going to take us forward. We want to make a lasting impact in South Africa by hosting this as the first African country to host this, by making sure that the voice of young people is heard, and we encourage. I also hope out of this we'll be able to motivate young students at universities to actually say, and those even from high schools, to say, earth science is a profession worth following, and it's a noble profession.
What other spin-offs can South Africa expect from hosting the GEO 2023 summit?
Well, there are lots of other spin-offs. Firstly, this proves to the rest of the world that much as we are a small country, and compared to big countries, we don't have a big science system, but we've got a globally reputable science system. And we've also got globally reputable science infrastructure in some respects. The fact that the square kilometer array, we're going to be sharing it with Australia, which is going to be the single largest science infrastructure in the world, we're going to be participating in South Africa. So the other spin-off is to prove actually that we've got a lot to offer to the world. We've got a lot to learn from the world, but also the world has a lot to learn from us. We have got the single largest public university system in the continent, the single largest science infrastructure in the continent. Also, the other spin-off on that, we are working hard now to attract investment, of course domestically, but also foreign direct investment into our science infrastructure and into our science system, so that we increase. Our goal is to increase the amount of GDP we spend on science. We are at 0.7 at the moment. We are aiming to be at 1.5%. Countries like China, I think they are close to 4% of GDP that they actually spend on science. So if we are able to attract investment by, amongst other things, proving that we can host and we can contribute to such important global events, because this is a global event. It's the whole world, more or less, that is actually here, that is dealing with earth sciences.
You said that it's more than 100 national governments. You've got scientists, you've got engineers here. How will you ensure, or what can South Africa do to ensure that when the delegates leave here, we don't have fragmented responses to climate change and the issues of climate change?
Well, we're going to have a declaration. The declaration that we are going to be adopting this afternoon, which I'm sure, and I hope you will look at it and also share with the viewers and the listeners, is going to say what is the consensus on things that we are agreeing actually needs to be done. And of course, the declaration itself will partly also reflect, much as it's reflecting the whole world, but partly also reflect what we had prioritized as South Africa by virtue of having been given the space to actually host such an important science gathering in the world.
Minister, I want to divulge a bit.
Yes.
The Council on UCT released its independent panel investigation into governance issues at the institution. Did you get a chance to look at it?
No, I haven't looked at the report. We have asked them to officially give us the report. Indeed, I want to look at it and to see what it says, what lessons can we learn in terms of what needs to be done at UCT, but also lessons for the rest of our university system. So I am going to be studying it fairly closely, and once we've studied it, I will be able perhaps to pronounce what's our view as government. What do we think are the kinds of engagements that are needed? We have 26 public universities in South Africa. All of them are absolutely important. And we have to make sure that we deal with this disease that is eating some of our universities, which is governance problems, governance decay, and all those things. So we cannot allow any institution to just have problems and we are disinterested as government. So we are looking forward to that report. We are pleased at least that UCT took the initiative to actually appoint credible people, judges, to be able to actually look into what their problems are. Whether that's enough or not, we will be able to tell once we've actually studied the report.
Thank you for your time, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, lady, back to you in studio. That was Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Dr. Blade Nzimande.
Thank you so much, Elrees Mashaba, our reporter there, speaking to us from the GEO and Ministerial Summit taking place in Cape Town.